Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I am talking to you from the verse. If you're not sure what the verse is, then I recommend that you go to my website at rewritingtheverse.com, and there you'll find an introductory video that I suggest you watch first, and then there are plenty of other updates and previous YouTube videos that explain a lot more about the verse, and that's a great place to start to get caught up on where I am going to be talking from today. I want to start actually back on the 1010 portal. That is actually the last time I did a video, and it's been almost a month since then. And really so many things happened on that day and a few days before that. I definitely recommend that you go to my website and look up the two 1010 portal videos that are on there to really understand how we got to this point a month ago. We basically all, as one collective, moved into a higher level space, and I likened it to heaven, that we were actually at the point of vibrating in a space that where heaven could be created and where the energy supports that. So that's what we've been in all month. I know for me it has not been the easiest month. There's been a lot of, well, maybe some truths coming forward, definitely letting go of some things that were outdated and needed to go. And this is specifically leading me to the 1111 portal that happens in just a few days from now on Monday, November 11, 2019. Once again, this is not a typical 1111 portal, as the 1010 portal was not an ordinary one as well. Now, granted, yes, it's significant because it is the last 1111 portal in this decade, but it's way more than that. What we've been going through over the last several months has been leading up to a really, really big jump. And it's all a part of the ascension process, actually. We're well into the ascension process. So I wanted to share what has been coming to me, especially this week, about the 1111 portal gateway that we're about to go through and what we are processing right now in preparation for it. So what I got was, we're removing anything and everything from ourselves, from our environments, from our experiences that is not going with us, not just into 2020, but not even into next month. We are really leaving so much at the door on 11/11 of this month, only a few days away. There is a major cleansing going on within each one of us right now at a soul level. And all I can say is I would recommend going through this voluntarily and intending for that to happen, because it was going to happen either way. Many things are going to be removed from us and our environment that are not going with us. Now, some of these things we're very aware that need to go, and that's maybe easier for many of us, but some of these things are not so easy to let go of. And some of these things are simply unconscious to us, and we need to leave it up to the universe, whoever's guiding this process, to know what needs to go for us. I had the vision of an 1111 literal gate and having a top portion that goes off over it. And basically this, I kind of likened it to what you might see at a car wash when you have your car go through and maybe the hot wax and the extra stuff that you pay a lot of money for starts to rain down on it. It's usually, at least in the one I go to, it's neon colored, it looks really cool, and it's a whole nother level of cleansing than just the standard car wash. And that's what I see happening to us as we go through the portal on 11/11. It will rain down over us and remove all the last vestiges of what is not us or not going with us. So over the next few days leading up to that, we are already having things loosen up. In fact, what I was shown was the image of something like the Alka-Seltzer ads where they show, you drop it in and all of a sudden there's all these bubbles coming off I have the word effervescence, but basically it's just this bubbling and removing of all toxins, anything that is not pure. We are going through a purification process like never before. So that means the most minute, you can't even see it there, is being removed. Even now, actively as we're going through this. And then the final piece will be on 11/11. What I've been told is that all of our old identities that we brought with us from the old universes that we've been in, even where we were at a month ago before the 1010 portal, we still had a lot of lower level things going on that were still connected to us, and that was fine. That's all we needed to have removed at that point to get through the 1010 portal. But now it's going to be a whole nother level of cleansing. And so I also have identified myself as, somewhere on the spectrum between masculine and feminine, light, dark, you name it, whatever description or identity you've had for yourself, whether long-term or short-term, those identities no longer serve us, and they're just not accurate anymore. We have actually come to fusion in so many ways. Light, dark, masculine, feminine, all those things have come into such fusion that they're really indistinguishable right now. And that it really comes down to our soul. That our soul, at least at this point in the process, is the most pure version of who we are. In fact, what I saw is it may be the least corrupted part of us, that it's not really affected by whatever happened to us in the past or whatever we're hoping for in the future. It's independent of all that. It just is. And it's actually probably the part of us, if you want to call it higher self, but I'll use the word soul, that it's the one part of us that probably has the best balance or clear vision of what we're heading into. And, in the past we've talked about, maybe it's better to lead with your heart than your mind, or vice versa. And when you think about it, both of those things can easily be affected by the past and the future. And now, if they ever were qualified to drive the bus, they're not anymore. They're not. Right now, it appears that the only one that is really qualified to drive this bus, and it's not me as this form, because I'm about the most blind out of all of them as to what's coming or what's supposed to be done. So I'm not the right one to be driving either. Is our soul. I know for me especially, I'm looking for my soul purpose. Well, wouldn't my soul know what its sole purpose is? Or at least have a better idea than I probably do? What about future partnerships? A soul-to-soul connection, probably much more powerful than a heart-to-heart or mind-to-mind or whatever other version. So I personally embrace the idea of this full cleansing, of bringing everything down to the most purest form of my soul. And that only that makes it through the 11/11 portal, along with whatever people, situations, circumstances that are mine. I'm not taking anybody else's stuff through the portal, which is a big part of the cleansing too. There's so much on us that is not us. That's not us, that we've picked up along the way, whether voluntarily or somebody threw it at us and stuck, whatever it is. Anything that is not us is not going through that portal. So I'm really excited to see, what happens on the other side of the portal, but we still have several days before the portal happens, and who knows what's going to happen between now and then. I personally am being called to be at another part of the country on the day of 11/11. So, and with people that I don't get to spend a lot of physical time with, but they are definitely significant people in my life and who are connected to my old Trinity. So there's probably no accident there that I'm going to be spending some quality time with them and maybe somehow creating something in the future with them at minimum. Maybe all of us helping each other let go of those last pieces that we may be resistant to letting go of. So once again, I really don't know what's going to be waiting for us on the other side of the 11/11 portal, but I do know that that's where we want to be. This in-between stuff is not really, I haven't seen a lot of physical manifestations show up this month. I'm not saying it hasn't happened for anybody or even for myself in small, but I'm playing for the big prizes. I think all of us would really like to see those big payoffs, which I believe absolutely are coming. And we may finally get to see, at least have it on the radar after the 11/11 portal of what some of those things are. And I know by 2020, we're definitely going to physically have most, if not all of it in our lives. So we're getting very close. But I, for one, will admit that it has been extremely hard for me to just not have any real clear direction in all of this, that I have been floating along with the rest of you. So many things not seeming to make sense. Why did that happen? Why is that person here? Or why is that person here? Oh, whatever it is, so much of it still doesn't make any sense. And I do believe that after 11/11, we'll at least start getting some answers to those questions. One other thing that I have picked up this week is in the 1010 portal video, the second one after we crossed the portal, I shared that I realized that in this energy, in this space that we're now in, there is no time, that there was only flow. Okay? I didn't have much of an understanding of really what that meant, but I knew that things had changed. And only this week did I feel like I got any real guidance on how to navigate in flow. It isn't simply, not putting any effort in and letting everything just happen to you. No, it's not like that, but it is different. And I'll give you the example that I had this week that they gave me, and I think this is pretty simple, everybody can understand, and a basis of how to proceed. And that is, one day I was thinking, okay, probably gonna go out to lunch today, which is not unusual for me, but I tend to like to think about where I want to go before I even prepare to go. Okay. And that day, nothing really sounded extra good, stood out. Okay. And then they basically said, don't worry about that now. Figure out that piece when you get in the car. Usually I like to know where I'm going before I even get in the car. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, once I got in the car, it actually came very clear which restaurant to go to, which was not one that I was considering, by the way. And I ended up having a meal there that was pretty good, different than one I'd ever eaten at that particular restaurant before. And what I basically was told through all of that was, we're in a place now where, had I made the decision even a half an hour ahead of time, it might have been the right choice in that moment, but in that short amount of time, because it's just so fluid here, something could have changed that would have had it be not as good as this option, basically. The moral of the story is, if you don't have to plan for something in detail ahead of time, don't. I knew I needed to go eat lunch somewhere, and that's about all I needed to know up until a certain point. Now, granted, I did have to buy airline tickets for this weekend, so there was some planning needed in that. But actually, they didn't tell me I was going until this last weekend, so it was kind of a last minute thing as well. So yes, there's a realization that sometimes you do have to plan ahead of time for some things, and then there's some things that you really don't need to know. And this trip I'm taking, now I tend to like to think that I'm a go with the flow person, and that I don't have to plan out everything that I'm going to do and how it's going to happen. Those friends of mine know that I do that a lot. This is a whole nother level. Like, I don't even have hotel rooms or for sure places that I'm going to spend the night. I'm kind of thinking I might even just drive around with my bag in my trunk the whole time, whether I stay in the same place 2 nights in a row or not, just in case. Just in case. I need to be that flexible. So, whatever works for you. I feel like for this coming weekend, I'm supposed to be that flexible, and I'm not going to know much of anything until the time is right. And really, it's all about being in the now, right? Can't make choices based on the past or the future anymore. The best choices come in the now moment. What feels right, what you're feeling guided to do in the moment is maybe the best way to navigate through this new energy, through the flow. So I'm glad I finally got an opportunity to check in with everybody and have something to share about this upcoming portal. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to get back to you again, but if it's not till later, enjoy your experience this weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye-bye.